Labour seems to have resurrected its pre-1997 twin-track approach to formulating policy. Firstly, shutting down historically tricky areas for the party, immigration, defence, bits of economic policy, by making sure there is very little difference between them and the Conservatives, and then at the same time honing in on key issues where there is a clear contrast, like getting rid of tax breaks on private schools. And when Sir Keir Starmer raised this today, he made reference to Rishi Sunak's own elite education.
Winchester College has a rowing club, a rifle club, an extensive art collection. They charge over £45,000 a year in fees. Why did he hand them nearly £6 million of taxpayers' money this year in what his Levelling Up Secretary calls egregious state support?
Now that was a nod to Michael Gove's backing for this very policy just 5 years ago.
If he thinks the route to better education in this country is tax breaks for private schools in the hope they might hand some of that down to state school, that's laughable. Trickle-down education is nonsense.
Some Conservatives call Labour's policy class war, and the PM argued it's an attack on aspiration.
Because we recently announced billions more funding for our schools. We're helping millions of the most disadvantaged children catch up with their lost learning. Whenever he attacks me about where I went to school, he is attacking the hard-working aspiration of millions of people in this country. He's attacking people like my parents, Mr. Speaker. This is a country that believes in opportunity, not resentment.
I thought it was notable that the PM didn't make the argument that if the tax breaks end and private schools close, then the state and taxpayers will likely have to fork out. Rishi Sunak did, however, raise Labour's internal divisions on strikes and picket lines. Keir Starmer tried to exploit Tory splits on house building, and we witnessed both leaders calling each other weak.
He's too weak to stop dozens of his own MPs joining the picket lines.
Every week he gets pushed around, and every week he gets weaker.
Elsewhere, the SNPs in Blackford attacked both the government and the opposition.
And it's an even worse sight watching the leader of the Labour Party desperately trying to out-Brexit the Prime Minister. Ruling out freedom of movement and any hope of a Swiss-style deal.
And there was clear frustration from the PM's own side on immigration.
The number of people crossing the Channel is a national emergency. The number of migrants in hotels is a national emergency.
When will my right honourable friend's government bring forward any emergency legislation that's needed to deport those migrants who came across the Channel illegally?
Well, 5 weeks into this new PMQs pairing, Keir Starmer seems desperate to paint Rishi Sunak as weak. He's got a message and he's going to repeat it. The danger for the PM, though, is if voters think that barb is believable, it could soon stick.